What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Play Legit podcast, the premier podcast for gaming and real talk. We are your hosts, Koerri and KJ. KJ, what's going on, man?
It's Thursday. It's time to stay legit.
That's right, man. That's right. Well, we have a freaking awesome show for you guys tonight. We have a lot to get to, but before we do that, I do want to make sure you guys stop by playlegit.net. That's our home. That's the hub. That's where you're going to find everything legit involving gaming and real talk. The show you'll find there, of course, gaming reviews, different types of articles. We even have 8-bit trolls to keep you guys amused. So there's tons of stuff for you to check out at playlegit.net. Please stop by that site because that's our home. But also, if you could do us a favor, follow us on Twitter, also on our Instagram at playlegit, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's Play Legit Network on YouTube. You're going to find the podcast there as well as a vast catalog of different things that we've done in the past and things that we're going to have up in the future. So check by all of our social media. Hit us with a follow. Hit us up. Let us know what you guys want to see here on the show. Reviews you want to see from us, as well as anything else that you want to just direct towards us. We're pretty easygoing guys. I'm sure you guys can tell through the show that we've been doing so far. So yeah, just hit us up. Hit us with a follow. Stop by playlegit.net. And, we'll continue to appreciate you guys and make great content for you. Before we get into everything, though, man, there's been, there hasn't been too much going on news-wise in the industry. It's been kind of quiet now that we're so far into this whole ordeal with people having to stay at home. We finally reached the point where most people have watched everything they could watch, played most of the games that they could play. I've been playing Final Fantasy VII. I thought I'd be done with the game by now, but I hit a point where I am literally super stuck, and it's not that it sucks. It's just like, dang, all right, well, dang. Like I've been coasting pretty good throughout the entire game, hitting some rough patches where I'd have to fight bosses more than once. That comes with the territory. But now I'm at this point where it's like it's not even a boss where I'm stuck. It's literally, if anybody is playing the game or has gone through this or has watched walkthroughs or anything like that, I literally am at this point where I have to fight a pack of dogs, and there's like 9 dogs that I'm trying to fight at one time. And I have Tifa and Aerith, and it's just not working out for me. So I'm stuck there. I'm in like towards the end. I think I'm in like the 17th chapter or something like that, and I still can't get past that for some reason. So it is what it is. I wish I could get by it. I'll get through it eventually, and I'm sure as soon as I get through that, I'll be like right at the end of the game, and I'll be complete with it, and I can give you my final review. So I'm not going to be giving you a review. I was planning on potentially giving you a review tonight, but we're going to have to wait. Hopefully by next week's show, I'll be able to give you a nice full review of the Final Fantasy VII Remake. But I don't want to do a review and not completely finish the game. But I'm almost done. Like I was talking about last week's show, like I'm like right towards the end. But for some reason, I'm at this point where I just can't get through it. Every time I try it, I am getting completely annihilated, and it sucks. Like literally to the point where it's like I don't know if I'm going to be able to go back and like level up or what's going to go on with this. So super weird, kind of sucks, but hopefully I'll get through it soon and watch. Like I'll probably try it one time and like run right through it super easy. You know how it is, especially with like RPGs. You'll be stuck at a spot, or any kind of video game. You'll be stuck at a spot. You'll put it down, and when you come back, you beat it, and it's like the easiest thing. You're like, how come I couldn't beat this before? So I'm feeling like it's going to be a situation like that. But yeah, great game so far. But like I said, I'll give you guys a thorough review as soon as I get done with the game. I did want to get into the Xbox Series X logo though before we get into like the full meat and potatoes of the show. I like I was just talking about earlier. I haven't completed my playthrough of Final Fantasy VII Remake yet, but as soon as I get done with it and get through the part that I'm struggling with and finish the game, hopefully by next week I'll definitely get into that. but we finally got revealed to us the logo of the Xbox Series X. I have an opinion. Most people know that I'm kind of biased, so I kind of want to hear what you think first
Kind of.
before I give my take on this here logo.
Yeah, I think it's a logo, man. It didn't really blow me out the water, but at the same time, I'm not looking at that and it's not ruining my day. It's just a logo. It's an X, and it is what it is. It's a thing.
I mean, it is clearly an X. It is very visibly an X, almost like a 1970s construction style. See this engraved in stainless steel kind of logo, which is, I mean, it's not bad. It looks really plain. I mean, I guess it's serving its purpose. I like me, like honestly, I don't like the name Series X. I feel like they could have came up with something better. Wasn't that what was the code name? Oh, that for
Scarlet, right?
no, the code name for the Xbox, what was it, Scorpio, or I can't
Yeah.
remember. All right, yeah, okay. They should have called it that because that sounded cool. Series X, just I don't know. It is what it is. But we have a logo, and you guys can see what it looks like. Um, Let us know what you guys think in the comments. Hit us up on Twitter or hit us up in the YouTube comments. Let us know what you think of the Xbox logo. KJ thinks it looks like a logo. I feel it looks like yeah, it's definitely that. Maybe fresh off of a typewriter, or yeah, I don't know. The PS5 logo looks better, although the PS5 logo looks like the PS4 and well, not like the PS3 logo, but yeah, well, yeah, it is what it is. So they dropped that. That's how dry things have been. The news of the week pretty much is that the Xbox Series X has dropped their logo, and that's it. So yeah, KJ, how are you feeling about your review? I'm excited to actually kind of hear what you think about this the Telltale Batman series. You set with that?
Yeah, I'm definitely okay with that.
All
I'm
right, man.
reviewing today Batman: The Enemy Within. This is a Telltale game series, so this would be season 2 of the Batman Telltale. And offhand, I can tell you, I really hope that they do a season 3. The storytelling again is really good. The voice acting, phenomenal. Again, no surprise there with Telltale Games. We have Troy Baker reprising his role as Batman. And Deborah Wilson of Mad TV fame, she's actually voicing Amanda Waller in this. She has a big part in this game. She basically blackmails you to do her bidding. Of course, her bidding is in her eyes for the greater good, and it's up to the viewer to decide where she's at with it. Pretty much that's pretty
Typical.
much how it is, the status quo with Waller. So they've
Right.
transferred that to this game. But the main thing I really enjoyed in this was the Joker dynamic and how you treat Joker throughout. You could end up with a different Joker at the end. So you can, there's an option where you can kind of take him under your wing a little bit and be his buddy. And
Oh wow.
that dynamic is pretty cool because you get to see a version of Joker that maybe you weren't expecting. And I think that that's one thing that they do really well in this Telltale series is that they'll hint at stuff that you have seen in the past. For example, there's a confrontation with Bane, and there's an iconic thing that happens with Bane and Batman, and they hint at it, but they don't always go the way that you're thinking they're going to go. So there's a lot of little subtleties like that, and also blatant things that you're like, oh, we know where this is going to go, but then you might find yourself being surprised. And I think the big surprise for me was how they handled Joker in this. And I think that that would be something that would really impress people. Now, like many Telltale games, your decisions will affect the game, but at the end of the day, the path, might be a little swervy, but the end game is pretty much going to be where they want it to go. But when it comes to this Batman series, I like where they went with it. And that's why I said at the beginning, I would like a part three. I'm hoping that whatever is left of Telltale, I know that they've been bought out and brought back. And whatever it is now, I think that if they can continue this trend, there's really well choreographed action scenes in here. And it's just stuff that is definitely worth going through again just to see. Because when you're fighting, they'll give you the choice of different attacks. So if you're attacking, sometimes it'll say you can either body slam this dude or you can grapple him. So it's cool if you're playing it again, do the other choice. With that being said, like many Telltale games, if you go through it 2 times, maybe even on your first time, you may have enjoyed that cinematic experience that they do, but you're probably not going to go back. And there's nothing really here where I'm like, okay, yeah, again, like I don't want to take away from the storytelling, but as a game, I'm not sure if I would keep going back because there's, it's an on rails storytelling experience. So I don't want to knock it for that, but in the same vein, the difficulty is not there. So let's say the timing to hit the button prompts, you get plenty of time to do that. So there's not really a challenge there. Okay. And again, when you make choices, you're still going to end the way they want you to end. You're still going to get there. So it's just, are you used to the Telltale formula? Do you like the way they do things? And do you like Batman? If you answered yes to those questions, then I can really recommend this game. But if you're not a big fan of the Telltale format, I don't know if this is going to change your mind. But if you like Batman, there's a chance maybe you want to check it out. So I would say at a reduced rate, it's not really that much money anyways. I think that it's basically you're renting a movie because, again, like there's not a lot of challenge here, but the storytelling is really cool. And I like the touches to the comic books and the unique storytelling that's in this too, that, again, you think they're going to take it one place, they go another way. So at the end of the day, I want to give Batman, The Enemy Within, 4 out of 5.
Oh, nice.
Oh, one other thing I want to throw in too. I really like the dialogue choices that you can pick when you're Batman and how you talk to Waller. You can just shut her down at all costs. There'll be times where she's asking you something, trying to get you to do something. You could either decide to respond to her or just grapple away. So sometimes I wouldn't even respond to her and I'd just shoot my grappling hook and just leave. So those moments were, I really enjoyed.
Those classic Batman moments. So like Batman's not going to respond to that. We're just going to grapple on out of here. That's what's up. Well, you guys heard it. The Batman Telltale series, Enemy Within, getting a 4 out of 5 MFs from KJ. So if you guys see it in the Play Store, check it out. I'm sure, you could probably get that for the low. I know I have it. I have like the iPad version of it that I got for I think like $5 or something like that. So yeah, there's ways to play the game for the low. Check it out. It's definitely a good one. So we're gonna get into a new segment that we have set up called the Mission 3 Hot Seat. This is where we're gonna set off 3 rapid fire gaming related questions towards one of us, and it's gonna put us on the spot. We don't know what the questions are gonna be. This week it's gonna be aimed towards me. I have no idea what these questions are gonna be.
He has no idea, y'all. I can promise you that.
KJ's gonna fire them off. I'm gonna answer them to the best of my ability. So whenever you are ready, we can go ahead and
I want thorough. You hear me? Thorough answers, brother.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to look. All right, let me stop. So you in that hot seat? You're comfortable, my friend?
Yes, I'm comfy. I'm warm, cozy, snuggly. It's been raining all day, so it's nice and toasty in here.
What do you think about professional athletes? For example, a Major League Baseball player What do you
Mm.
think about them streaming games against other players as themselves? So let's say Bryce Harper is streaming the game as himself and he hits a home run as himself against somebody else who is an athlete on the opposite team playing competitively over Twitch. What do you think about that?
I feel like that's everybody's dream. Maybe not everybody's, but most everybody's dream. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm a pretty faithful NBA 2K player. I'm not like a huge, like, I'm not competitive online or anything like that, but I like to play 2K. I like the whole my career aspect. I'm not an athlete, not like a traditional athlete. When it came to athletics, I chose skateboarding. Some people would say that's not that's not being an athlete. Other people will say, hey, it's in the Olympics. Yeah, but that's a whole. I digress. Um, but I like it. To long story short, I think it is pretty cool because every time I play 2K, I make myself. And if I was really in the NBA and I was really in a game, I would like to use myself to whoop other people just because I'd be like, yeah, that's me. I'm literally the GOAT in real life and in this game. Come get these hands, come get dunked on, whatever it may be. So I mean, I'm all for it. I would do it. I've been seeing like the NBA did this whole like 2K tournament recently with Ronnie 2K and a bunch of NBA players, and I'm seeing all these people playing with other people's teams, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Why don't you ball out as yourself? That's what I would do. But everybody's picking my team, the Bucks, because it's the best team in the league, and it is what it is. I could understand why they'd want to use the Greek Freak, but if it was me, I'd be balling as myself because I'm in the game. So I think it's cool.
Stadia, Google's Stadia,
Hmm.
okay, in that format, the way that we play cloud gaming. So,
Hmm.
Stadia is the future of gaming.
The format that Stadia is currently using, so cloud-based gaming is the future of gaming. Um, Stadia itself, I don't think it's going to do well. Potentially, because Google has a bunch of money, so I mean they could just keep this thing going until whoever who knows how long. But I don't think Stadia is the future of gaming. I think cloud-based gaming is the future of gaming because it's at the point where these companies they're trying to figure out ways to keep things monetized. Microtransactions are being shut down. They're calling it gambling. They're like the microtransaction platform paradigm is not going to last for long. They've milked it for quite long enough. They've made tons, millions, and billions of dollars off of 6 and 7 year olds getting their, parents' credit cards, or people in Iraq hacking people's Nintendo accounts so they can get freaking V-Bucks, and all of that has gone on too long. Yeah, that happened to me. That's why I got kind of aggressive there. Um, so yeah, everything's switching kind of to like a cloud-based platform. That way, they can get you on the subscription service. They can have you paying monthly for these games, kind of like the Apple Arcade kind of platform is set up like right now. All of these
Or
companies,
Game Pass.
right, or Game Pass, or I forget what Sony calls their setup too. But everything's kind of going into that direction because they want that monthly subscription for you. If you don't have the game physically and you have to have some sort of subscription to tap into that, they're getting that continuous revenue from you, opposed to that one-time purchase and hoping that maybe you buy some t-shirts or whatever in the game. So I think everything's going towards that cloud-based thing. Plus they could do updates and stuff faster for everybody and stuff like that too. If it's all just based off of the cloud and people won't have to update individually, it'll make things seamless. Loading and a bunch of stuff will be a whole lot better once we have the capabilities to allow everybody to actually tap into that. So Stadia, not the future. Cloud-based gaming, yeah, definitely the future, in my opinion.
The best RPGs, okay, they don't need remakes.
What this is this a that's not a question. That seems like an opinion, sir. I feel personally attacked right now. No,
That's right.
so I agree, but then I also like things to look better, right? So, for example, we'll just talk about it. Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's not the exact same game. Things are different, but there's nods to the original. I mean, the length of the game. It's not even the full game that we've just received, anyways. So it's not the same game. It's a different game with the same story and the same characters, and kind of similar. But it's a remake, not a remaster, and not a reboot. Um, so with that said, did I want it? Yes. Was it needed? No, it wasn't needed because people still play the original Final Fantasy VII. That's what people were doing before the FF7 remake came out. They were doing speed runs and just replays of Final Fantasy VII. So some people even pulling it out on the original PlayStation. Burning through 3 discs again. Some people were playing it on their phone. Some people were playing it on PC. Whatever. Some people picked it up on PSN. Everybody was playing the original. The original still, although it doesn't look as good because the graphics were way, way worse back then compared to the technology that we have now, but the game itself still holds up and is still good. So I agree. Classic RPGs don't need remakes. Will we appreciate them because they'll look better? Yes. Do they need them? No. Would I love a Legend of Legaia remake? You bet your socks, man. Bet your bottom dollar. Would I love a Final Fantasy 3 remake with all of the original characters? You know how cool that would be? That would be super dope. Does it need it? No. I can deal with the sprites. Is it needed though? No. How'd I do?
What about Chrono Trigger?
Chrono Trigger does not need a remake.
That's
Will
why
I
I came up with that, because I was thinking about, I love Chrono Trigger so much, and I'm just good with it as is. But I feel like it's gonna happen eventually.
see, but the thing with Chrono Trigger though, for them to remake Chrono Trigger, there's like a whole thing, right? Because Chrono Trigger isn't just the game. All of the artwork was originally done by Akira Toriyama. So if they're gonna remake it, they would have to remake it with the original artwork and make it a cell shaded RPG game and have Akira Toriyama or maybe even like Toyotaro come in and resketch everything and help them make the models of the characters, and that just makes it, for one, way more expensive to do it, and for two, I mean, that would probably take a really long time. So I mean, does Toriyama have the time to do something like that with the expansion of the Dragon Ball universe they've done over the past couple of years? Who knows? Would I like to see it? I think it would be dope. But if they remade or remastered, they'd have to remake it. If they remade Chrono Trigger, it would have to be done. Have to be done with the assistance of Akira Toriyama. Otherwise, I wouldn't even want anything to do with it. It would just be like, it wouldn't be the same. So that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
So like with Final Fantasy VII, it was one of those things where it's like, okay, it's not like there's not like this world renowned artist and art style that we know and love associated with it. Like it has its classic like cyberpunk kind of look almost in a way, or what do they call it, steelpunk or whatever. I forget what they call it, but you know what I mean, with all like the metal and like the
Steampunk.
steampunk. There you go. That's it. It has like that steampunk feel to it. Uh, so, but that could kind of be done, remade, and tossed around, and still look good like they did. But with Chrono Trigger, that's like that's a whole different thing. You know, I like it. I
You
like to
did
see
well,
it.
man.
I just don't think Toriyama has the time to do something like that, and that's the only way I would like to see that game remade. So, yeah, I think I did pretty good. Definitely questions I wasn't expecting
Money
too.
talks.
So, yeah. Yeah, so that was the Mission 3 hot seat. We will be doing that next week. I'll put KJ in the hot seat, and that's the segment that you'll be seeing from us here on the podcast. That was fun though. I like that.
Oh boy.
I think that went pretty good. And yeah, and I'll make sure I come up with some questions that you won't be expecting either, sir. So be ready for that one next week.
Oh goodness.
Let us know how you guys feel about the Mission 3 hot seat in the comments down below. So keeping things moving, man, let's talk about what we'd realistically like to see from the PS5 and the Series X at launch. Like, what launch titles would you like to see, or realistically do you think we're going to get? I'll let you go ahead and start that, and then I'll chime in.
Well, I think you will see a Call of Duty, right? A Fortnite, a more powerful version of Fortnite is what I think. Okay.
Mm.
I would expect to see, you need some type of sports representation. I expect to see EA, like they always do when a launch comes out, rush a sports game with limited features. So I expect to see a limited Madden, a limited FIFA, a limited, and now on 2K's end, a limited version of NBA 2K21 with maybe not all the features that the other modes would expect, but basically just showing that, hey, look how good this game can be. And the next year, we're going to have all the stuff.
Yeah, maybe throw like
And
some extra hairstyles or something. Like, look at the hair; it has more detail now.
so pay the $70 or however much these games are going to cost, and then next year you'll get the real game. But I'm just tired of getting hosed on launch titles. I want more of an effort put forth. Overall, man, I think with the changing of the industry, that's one thing that has not changed. Let's have some hot launches. I want just knockout launches that are just incredible, that makes the consumer say, hey, I need to buy this system right now.
Yeah, I think
I
it's.
think, oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just gonna say I think it's gonna be a slow one because, like, I feel exactly what you're saying. Like, let's have a hot launch, get us excited for this, especially in like, come on, man. Like, we are literally in the pandemic era. So many people have not been working for, like, to get people to buy this console, you're gonna have to have something to make people want to spend the money. Like, this is not the year to come with like a half done janky product, you know, like. And for what we're seeing right now, like the biggest titles that we're probably gonna see, like Cyberpunk 2077, that's cross gen. Like,
Right.
I don't necessarily need to get a new console to play some of like the best games that are coming out. So like I agree, we are gonna get like a janky first year sports titles that we always get because those are yearly anyways. Those can always be expected to be on the next gen. They basically ported over with what they're gonna have on the last gen and kind of like up the graphics a little bit. And they're like, here we go, here's this version. And then the following year, like you said, we get an actually better version of it. Um, Call of Duty, Fortnite. I personally don't think it's going to change too much. They might do something more with like integration wise. Um, maybe update maybe the maps a little bit. But I don't see Fortnite honestly changing too much fundamentally, just because it's just so big competitively and things like that. I feel like they wouldn't change it too much. Um, Other than that, I mean, Last of Us Part 2 is looking like it's probably, I don't see why they would even put it on this gen now that they push it back again. They might as well just go ahead and just make that a next gen exclusive, in my opinion, but they probably won't. I mean, there's just was rumors saying that they finally have just started production on Elder Scrolls 6, so that's not looking like that's going to be a launch title at all, um, which is incredibly sad because what is that going to be, like 2022? We see it or whatever. So I mean, it's not looking good personally, in my opinion. Um, Shoot, they'll probably port GTA 5 over. Well, that'll probably work with backwards compatibility. So I feel like we're going to be playing a lot of
We're
PS1 or Xbox One and PS4 titles for the first year or so.
Yeah, and that's the thing that again that is easy to predict, but like we've been saying, we just want to see different. We want them to think outside the box and really make it worthwhile. Because, like you said, in this pandemic and with everything's going on, give us a reason to take the next leap. I think the time is over to have half-ass launches. I'm so sick of it now. So I hope that Halo Infinite, that's a cross gen, but overall I think that would be a game that would help people, uh, that would sell systems if done properly, if made well by 343. I think that, I remember the Xbox One launch, Forza, that's the best racing series right now, period. I mean, it has surpassed Gran Turismo, and that's Metacritic, that's just what it is. So I think that you could have that would be a good launch title, because Forza Motorsport, when it came out on Xbox One, that was a solid launch title. Again, that had a lot of microtransactions and didn't have as many cars. So I
Mm,
think that that's probably what would happen again if they come out with a Forza at launch. It'll probably not have as many cars, but it would be something good for people. And yeah, I think, like you said, we're gonna have a lot of cross gen. I think you'd see something like a Doom Eternal making its way onto these systems too,
mm,
so they can get a little bit more money. Of course, Cyberpunk 2077, we know that's been announced already. You'll see indie games that, a lot of indie games I think you'll see in the store that maybe don't visually impress, and that happened the last generation, that there was indie games that popped up that not at all did they show off the system capabilities, but they were just something that people could play, something
yeah.
that they could do on their new
It's like
systems.
you got the system. Here's something to play for 15 minutes before you get completely sick and tired of everything on this thing.
Yeah, which is cool because, the main games are expensive. They may not be worth the money that they're charging, but they're expensive. So
Mm,
it is cool to have kind of a relief, when you just dump like so much freaking money to get a game that doesn't gonna break your bank, because your bank is already destroyed from buying a new system.
right. Yeah, Nintendo was always actually pretty good at coming out with like a multi kind of like mini game type game for people to play. So hopefully we'll see some of that. But they have gone in like huge on indies as well. Also, there's rumors that Battlefield 6 should be coming out sometime in the near future. So that would actually be a nice one. Not necessarily right at launch, but sometime maybe early into the generation. It'd be nice to get that Battlefield 6. I'd like to see what they do with it. Like I'm saying, I hope they expand a lot with this next generation as well. It's supposed to be a lot more powerful. So I'm trying to see more players online, better servers being housed, for these games. But like a game like Battlefield 6, I'd like to, see maybe 100 people, multiple hundreds of people on one map going crazy, like an actual war. That would be kind of cool. Some Ready Player One type scenarios, stuff like that. Like I want to be excited by this. I want them to kind of show us what what these specs are capable of, what they have up their sleeves, and yeah, like it'll probably be holiday 2021 before we're actually like super excited for something for this next generation. But it's kind of how it goes. We've come accustomed to it. But I'm with KJ. We need to have a hot launch. Kind of sick and tired of seeing how things go super slow all the time. Anyways, like I know it takes time for people to acquiesce and get onto the new consoles, and for things to start moving that way. But still, like I give people a reason to spend that money, and they'll spend it. People buy new phones all the time. Like people have money to spend on stuff when they really, really, really are intrigued into purchasing something. Sometimes people even buy stuff that they shouldn't buy if they're intrigued enough. So get us intrigued. Uh, show us some stuff that we want to see. God of War 2, which probably isn't coming anytime
Oh,
really
Lord have
soon.
mercy.
Stuff like that. That's what we're trying to see. Horizon Zero Dawn 2. There's a lot that they could just pop
Mm-hmm.
up on us with that we want to see. And if they could do that, hey, they'll start selling the consoles. But I was reading earlier as well today, just trying to find news. Like they're not expecting major sales at all in the first quarter of launch for this generation. We'll see how things go, but on their end, at least how things are being reported, it seems like they're not expecting things to be moving that fast, which may hinder the titles that we receive early in launch. So, just
Which goes back to what we were talking about a few podcasts ago. I think that they need to delay these things, have it come out in spring of 2021. And that way, these games, we don't get rushed, trash launches. We get a lineup of awesome games, maybe not a massive library, but we get a library, whatever exists of a library of quality games. I am so sick of these slapped together experiences that they charge full price. If it's going to be slapped together, cut the price in half because you know that it's not all there,
mm,
but you know they're not going to do that. We know that.
I don't know.
So let's delay.
Mm, yeah, but see, I would agree with you, but then from the business aspect, holiday season is the peak season. That's where they make the money. That's gonna be what they're gonna have to tell their investors and their stockholders.
Yeah.
A couple weeks later, like look at what we ended the year with. So, I feel you. They should, but it's not going to happen because there's people in boardrooms that have to be made happy as well, and we are just the people that give them money to live in their mansions. So,
You ain't lying.
just in a perfect world, my friend, in a perfect world. But hopefully we at least get something good to play. I hate that there's always like 3 titles that you get to choose from. One of them is like a crappy platformer that you don't necessarily like. You'll play because it's something to play, but it's like, dang, man, I just spent $500 on this brand new console, and I'm playing a game that I could have played on the PS2.
And
So
you got to convince yourself that it's better than it really is to justify your purchase of the system.
like,
We've all been there.
yeah, I feel bad for kids sometimes. It's like back in those Christmases where it's like, man, like this is the only thing I asked for, and this is what I got, and there's no games for this thing, and
You
I'm
think
bored
about it.
halfway through Christmas.
Let's say, okay, for you it'd be a PS5. Okay, so you get your PS5 and you invite your boys over, and everybody's there like, all right, yeah, we got this PS5. You're playing it, and you'll probably be playing with your boys for like 20 minutes, and then everybody's bored because you've seen everything that's available. And you're like, all right, so what else are we doing?
Right. Or you beat the first launch title that came out because it's only freaking 15 hours long.
That's the thing, Rise Son of Rome, from a graphical standpoint, was awesome. The combat system was pretty good. That was a pretty awesome game.
Mm,
But my goodness, man, you could probably beat that in under 5 hours.
mm.
But guess what they charge for it?
$60.
So this is the thing. Like, that's what I'm talking about, man. I don't want to see that. I want these guys to put that work, that time in.
Mm-hmm. No, I feel you. I agree. And I feel like, I don't know, maybe this goes back to that quick fire question that cloud gaming thing. Maybe cloud gaming, I feel like it's going to be the future, because that way they can continuously update things and they can kind of launch you with a game that's not completely done, and then continuously make the game better as time goes on. Almost like the Fortnite thing, you know? For example, like Fortnite's just gotten better and better over time because they kind of like allowed people this one feature of the game that happened to blow up, and then they could use the money from that to continue to expand in the game, and now it's huge and they're making tons of money. So maybe we'll end up seeing stuff like that happen a lot more too. Um, you know, like if No Man's Sky would have told people that up front, then people probably wouldn't have been as mad at them, because people are saying now that No Man's Sky isn't a bad game, but it was trash
It's
when
like a
it came
completely
out.
different game now. It's completely different now.
If they would have been like, hey, we have a vision for this game, you have to stay with us for our vision to come to fruition. Like, we're going to launch the game here, but we need you to know that we need you to help us data mine things so we can make the game better. Like, if they would have just been up front and been like, we need you to play the game so we can get more information and we can build things in certain areas in this giant universe that we created. But they didn't say that up front, and I have not played the game again. And I paid $60 for it, and I was super upset. So, yeah, I mean, tell us up front. If I would have known, then I would have kept playing, but now I have no desire to. And people say it's cool, but I'm like, yeah, they lied to my face. They peed in my face and told me it was raining.
They pissed in your Kool-Aid and told you.
Told me it was lemon lime. I'm like, dang, bro,
Yeah,
this is not lemon lime. I know lemon lime
yeah,
when I
buddy.
taste lemon lime. Yeah. So, yeah, but I mean, hey, we'll see how things go. People, they're also saying that the PS5 may launch be sooner than people think as well, which is kind of weird because we have seen literally like nothing about it at all. We've been seeing so much more about the Series X. So I don't know. Maybe we'll do that we'll have that as a topic coming up soon, when we kind of predict when we think it'll come out. We'll get into that. But we do want to hear from you guys. What do you guys want to hear from us here on the show? Let us know. Hit us up on Twitter. Hit us up on Instagram at Play Legit. You can hit me up at Koerri Elijah as well, across the board on all platforms. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's Play Legit Network on YouTube. You'll find the show here, as well as tons of other reviews and a bunch of other original content from Play Legit. And of course, stop by playlegit.net, because that's our home. That's the hub for everything gaming and real talk related. I definitely appreciate everybody for stopping by. This was a fun show tonight. KJ, I'm going to have you on the hot seat next week, so be prepared. You're not going to know what I'm going to bring up, but I got you next week. You got anything to say before we let the people go?
I'm just letting you know I'm be calling in sick and I won't be able to be there for the.
I'm going to come up with
No,
some
I
good
look forward
questions
to
for
it,
you.
man.
Definitely. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. We definitely appreciate you. Again, stop by playlegit.net, because that's the hub, that's the home where you're going to find everything gaming and real talk related. And make sure you follow us across the board at Play Legit, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Play Legit Network. And we will talk to you guys soon. We will catch you in the next one. Stay legit.